This Albion Online video is all about how SBI is giving out free fame. That's right. SBI will be leveling everyone's characters up for completely free, and this is how it's going to work. Now, before I get started and explain things, I just want to say that channel members will be getting this video much earlier, whereas everyone else will be getting this 3 days before this kicks in. Why is this important? Because channel members are going to be able to go to the markets and prepare for this change, whereas everyone else will have 3 days to do so, which may or may not be enough time for you, or the markets might be completely screwed up by then. But let's get into it. So on June 30th, there will be an update to learning points. So instead of leveling something up to 20% and then using learning points to automatically finish the remainder, which I don't think I have. Yeah, I have something right here. So this is Grandmaster Hyde Tanner, and I can spend 244 learning points to just max this out and learn it. Now, here is the interesting thing about this, right? And that is, a lot of people won't even understand that this is going to be a thing, but on June 30th, let me show you. Progress made on nodes before the update will be multiplied by 5 within their current level. So if a node has 20% or more progress, that level will be automatically completed at no learning point cost. So what that means is that this refining node, which I don't really care about refining, where is it at? This refining node will be automatically leveled up for me. I don't have to spend 244 learning points, which is 24 days, 25 days really if you don't have premium, all right, or spend all of this fame to level it up manually. It's just going to be leveled up for me on the 30th. So what does that mean, folks? What does that mean, channel members? That means that you have, well, channel members, let's see how many days you have. You have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have 13 days, channel members, and everyone else, you have 3 days to do this, okay? So what that means is you need to get your destiny boards in check. If there is something that you want to level up and you don't have the learning points, or you don't want to spend the learning points, then you need to push it to that 20% line. So if I want to level Elder Fiber Weaver, I need to level this to 20%, and I'm going to save 991 learning points. This one, another 991, another 991. Well, I've been playing for years, and I almost never spend my learning points, but I also don't ever really buy premium. So I have 2,389 learning points just sitting around waiting to be spent. And if I wanted to level these 3 things up with learning points, that would be more than what I have. So you can see just how valuable this is. So let me put into perspective how valuable learning points are in this game. So the Warden Mastery Packs offered 15,000 learning points for $200 US. So that means $1 is worth 75 learning points. And if, or rather when, Sandbox Interactive, Albion Online, Stillfront, whenever they decide to sell learning points in the future, which everyone is speculating that they will, and they probably will, why wouldn't they? This is about the bell curve of dollar to learning point value. So 75 learning points to get it normally would take you 8 days without premium to get by doing the daily challenge thing. I clicked the, yeah, this is it. So right now I'm in June. And let's go ahead and claim that. But yeah, you complete the daily challenge. You get 1,200 challenge points. It takes about a minute to do. You have to do that for, again, 8 days to get 80 learning points. And you can only get 10 a day without premium. But with premium, you get learning points slowly over time. You get 30 every 24 hours, which means it would take you 93.75 hours with premium, or 3.9 days, to get the same amount of learning points. So what this means is, look at everything that costs a lot of learning points on your Destiny board. 991, 991, 991. All right? So, again, let's do some quick math. So, if I just level these 3 nodes to 20%, and then on June 30th, they will be automatically leveled for me, effectively, Sandbox Interactive is giving me $39.64 worth of learning points for free, which is also 297.3 days of playing this game every single day to get those learning points, or 99 days with premium, all right? I want you to understand how much that you can benefit right now by utilizing this. And I know that, like, you know, if you are truly a min-maxer, then on one character, it would be really dumb to have every single refiner unlocked and maxed out and every single crafting node, you know, unlocked and whatnot, because you only get 10,000 focus a day. And so whenever you make a character, you should really just specialize in one form of crafting. And if you want, you should have alt characters that do the same. Well, in that regard, you know, almost everyone I know has alt characters, right? So here's an example of an alt character. This is Geeky Girl, and no, I didn't try to like scam people and get free money or anything with it. It's just a corny, funny name. But anyway, this character's entire existence was to grow and water crops, and so it maxed out burdock cultivation. And in the past, before the update, you cannot use learning points to increase farming, animal breeding, or anything of the sort. So this character, you know, had premium for quite a long time so it could water crops, and it never used learning points in anything. It has no combat abilities really other than real basic stuff for getting the daily challenge stuff done, and again, nothing else. It just farmed the daily challenge mounts, you know, chest rewards, and did farming. So this character is chock full of learning points. Well, what that means is that if I wanted to, say, turn this character into a focus refiner, I could pick one of the refining professions right now, and I could just level it all the way to 7, and so I would unlock the level 7 node. You know, that costs some learning points to get there, right? But I have plenty to spare. And then all I do is get this to 20%, and then sit on it, and then on the 30th, suddenly, this character does not need to invest, you know, nearly 1,000 learning points to be a fiber weaver. And then I would go on to all of my alt characters, so I would have an alt character for weaving, and smelting, and tanning, and wood planting, and stone cutting, and so on and so forth, right? And this makes it insanely easy because it's free. It's free, but if you are a completionist, and you just play the one character, then you should push all of these nodes right now, all the way to 20% on, you know, as high as you want to push it, so that it levels it up for free for you. And I know some of you watching, you have not reached tier 8 on your gathering nodes yet. This is the one time I would advise, if you don't have time to push to the 20% line on your gatherer, buy tomes. Buy tomes right now, because tomes are going to skyrocket in price, because after June 30th, you can now use the tomes to get 5x experience points, right? And so right now, the way a lot of people work, or the way a lot of people do it, is they're not going to buy tomes to set at 20% and wait for their character to have enough learning points to push it all the way. They're just going to spend their learning points every day, leveling up whatever node they want. And so, if they have enough learning points, they're just going to buy the tome, consume the tome, eat through their learning points, and then that's their day. So if you buy now, then the price is only going to rise up. It's only going to rise up, but if, you know, channel members are getting this video much earlier than everyone else, like, say they're like tier 7 mining and they need to get to tier 8, they're going to buy the tomes now, have it set at 20%, and then SBI is going to give them the rest of that for free. That saves you 400 learning points. And on your main, I highly recommend having all tier 8 gathering nodes unlocked. So that means that the whales that watch my videos, or the wealthy, I guess, they are going to, you know, buy tomes and push all of their gathering to 20%, because why wouldn't they? If they're getting leveled up for free, they're going to push, you know, their fishing specialization and all that stuff as high as they can to, you know, stop at a 20% so it levels the rest of the way. And another thing, too, that I want to talk about is, I'm going to switch characters real quick. One really smart thing that you can do right now that's real simple is if you have a lot of nodes on your combat tree maxed out at 100, like I have 100 in all the boots, all the armor, and a lot of weapons are at 100. Now let me show you what we're going to do here. So you take your level 100 node. This is going to cost some silver, but it's going to save, it's going to just multiply your fame by a massive amount. So what you do is you respec it down to level 99, okay? And what you're going to do, you're going to get 410,000 fame credits back, which is worth 1 million fame. It's going to cost you about 500k to do this on every weapon node, all right? But what you do, and I'll do this now for the glacial here, and again, these are free combat fame credits that you can put back into the weapon later after the patch. But we're going to pay the 500k to get 410,000 combat fame credits. There we go. It's now level 99. So now what we're going to do is we are going to use tomes and push this back to 20%. And then whenever the patch hits, we're going to get those 60 learning points to push it from 99 to 100 for free. And we get to keep the combat fame credits. So yes, paying, what did I pay? I paid about 500k silver for 400,000 combat fame credits. That's actually cheaper than fame farming. That's cheaper than fame farming with auto respec on. That is cheaper than fame farming with the satchel. So my advice to you right now, channel members, because if you don't do this as a channel member, the price is probably going to be too high. Unspec everything that is 100 down to 99. Use tomes to push it back up to 20%. And then on patch day, it's all back to 100, and you get to keep all of the combat fame credits, all of them. It is, yeah, it's gonna burn through your silver, but it's also like you would grind this out anyway, right? You're gonna be grinding it out anyway when you fame farm. This skips so much farming and so much grinding. And mathematically, for every 12 nodes that you do this for, well, it's like 10 to 12 nodes. It's over an hour and a half worth of fame farming in full loot zones. So just keep that in mind. Now, the question is, what about like crafting things that you can't normally level with learning points? In the new patch, you can learn everything on the Destiny board with learning points. That's the cool thing. Like if you wanted to level up your animal butchery, you can spend learning points after the patch. But will the fame before the patch be affected after the patch? I don't know. I have no way of testing or knowing this. However, what I do know is that you should probably level it to 20% anyway, just in case, if you want to. So, if there's ever been a time for completionists out there to light up every single node on their Destiny board, despite, you know, it being useful or whatever, now, there's never been a better time in the entire game's history to do so. And the fastest way to, like, say, you know, push your, like, crafting specialization to 20% is to just study an item. Just study an item. And so, what I'm going to do for the rest of the video is I'm going to prep my Destiny board for exactly that. And there's a few reasons why. Let me swap to the test realm and show you some of the achievements. So, coming with the new patch is the new character progression... Oh, wrong one. Character progression journal. And so, we have things like item power, like equipping and having awakened weapons and high item power. So, there's still a reason to equip higher tier gear. We have the Reaver stuff, which you're going to get, you know, just as you play the game, whatever. But we have Combat Generalist, Combat Specialist. This is reaching higher levels in certain amounts of nodes. So like reach level 50 in 20 different weapon specialist nodes, and then you get rewards and also completion if you want to get the new little smirky avatar, the rainbow star avatar there, the avatar ring. You get the little weird PlayStation 5 controller button thing. I don't know what this is. Okay. Or this cool. I think this mount looks pretty cool. The Astral Stag, right? Astral Stag with an Astral Staff. Sign me up. All right, and then you get the even crazier crown that has more floaty junk around it. Very eye-catching. You know, I'm gonna actually put this on right now and see what it looks like in the game. All right, real quick, I'm curious. Helmet unlocked. No, that's Veteran Circlet. Destiny Circlet. Yeah, look, now we have little swirly bits around our head. We went full schizo, guys. But as you can see here, we have, like, reach level 1 in all specialist nodes of a crafting profession. So, instead of using a ton of learning points to get this done, you can just do the prep work now, let the game give it to you for free, and then you don't have to worry about it. There's just a whole lot of things. Destiny Board Master. Unlock everything tier 4, everything yada yada yada. Reach level 10 in every specialist node. Okay, right? So, again... This is something players like to do and want to do, especially if they want to unlock the cool mount here and the swirly helmet thing, okay? Just letting you know. And now let's get on to the guide part of this video, where I'm going to guide you how to do all of this mathematically in a way that will save you money. So how many tomes of insight do you need to dump into an item after you make it back down to 99 in order for SBI to level it up for you for free. So we'll get with that. Or we'll start with that. Whatever. I don't script this stuff. So to level your specialization from 99 to 99.2 or 99.20 or 20% of the way to 100, so that when the patch hits, it will hit 100 for you for free, you will need 205,478 fame, which is 21 tomes of insight. And so right now, in my inventory, I have 10 million silver. I have auto respec turned on. And no, I am not leveling down the mastery because I still want to use tier 8 gear until patch day. And it's also not really that much. It's only 178k. So I'm not doing that because I don't want to invalidate my gear. I'm just doing this for the specialization. So my helmet, armor, boots, and weapon are all 99 out of 100. So if I go to Druid Robe here, I just want to show you. I know there's some text on the screen. Druid Robe is at flat 99, 0 out of 1.27 million. All the fame values are the same. So with auto respec on, 21 fame tomes is going to cost silver because we have auto respec active. All right, there we go. So you can see learning point reached. Let me hide the text. That way you know that we hit 20% on all of our equipment there. And again, on patch day, this will automatically be leveled back to 100 for us. At no cost. No cost at all. No grinding, no fame farming, no learning points being, stolen or spent. It's just absolutely completely free. So I'll show you again on the Destiny board here. This would be 15 learning points because it's a helmet. That means the boots are also 15 learning points. The armor should be 30. So that is 30 there. And then the weapon, as you can see, the weapon will be 60. So that is 120 free learning points that I'm going to be getting. And as far as silver spent, it's with auto respec on. It costs me around a little under 200,000 silver. All right, and then the cost of Tomes of Insight as of this recording are about 20,000. So 20,000 times 21, that's another. You're going to be spending over $1 million for every gear set you do. Well, kind of, sort of. 420,000 on the tomes, another 200,000 on the auto respec costs, and then to level these down to 99, it's a little bit over $1 million. So you're going to need some silver to do this. This is not for the poor, but you are going to benefit later for doing so. It's just something you need to do now, especially channel members. Whereas I worry that if this gets out to too many people, that there won't be enough Tomes of Insight on the market to do this for everyone. It's going to be a mad gold rush, that's for sure. That's why channel members are getting this video first, and everyone else can get it 3 days before the patch. So next up is unlocking the 4 main crafting nodes. That is, let me show you without the text. I'll put the text back on screen in a sec. So here's the Destiny board. You have the Warrior Forge Crafter, the Hunter Lodge Crafter, the Mage Tower Crafter, and then you have the Tool Maker. Alright, so how do you unlock these the quickest and easiest way? It takes 480 fame, and all you gotta do is buy tier 2 broadswords, bows, fire staffs, or bags. Take them to the appropriate crafting bench. So this is the Warrior's Forge. This is where you would craft the tier 2 sword. You don't want to buy the materials and craft it, that's too expensive. Just buy one already made. A tier 2 broadsword, as of recording, is about 200 silver. You buy 5 of them, that's 1,000 silver. You take it to this little tab right over here on the left side, and there's text in the way. This tab right here, this is the study tab. Click this. Put your 5 swords in here, and it doesn't cost anything because it's tier 2. You study them. Each time you study, without premium, it will give you 99 fame towards that crafting node. So with 5 of those, that will push you above 480. On this character, we can see that I have studied 1 sword, so I can get the number. And we have 99 out of 480. So once I have studied 5 tier 2 items, that will push this node into the range where I can start crafting tier 3 items of each type. And then after crafting enough tier 3 items of each type, I can then craft the tier 4 items of each type, which will allow me to work towards the specialization of each type. Now again, a level 1 specialization is only going to be worth 3 learning points, but having the ability to craft tier 4 of everything in the game can be very valuable if you are market flipping or if there is a crazy good bonus day. So like you go to activities, you go to the bonus day. Hey, it's Curse Staff and Leather Helmet Day. Awesome. And it just so happens that here in Bridgewatch, well, you get a bonus to Curse Staff right there. So now it's plus 25% today. And if you can craft tier 4 Curse Staff, then maybe you can flip and make a profit today. So it's important that you unlock these. The specialization doesn't really matter for just one level, but because the learning points are going to be free, you might as well push every node and have all of these little baubles lit up. You know, it's just a completionist thing. So I'm going to go over the math now on how to unlock each of these nodes. Now, in order to unlock each tier 4 node after you have the tier 3 node unlocked, you're going to need to buy 22 of the tier 3 version of that item and study them. So, for example, I have the Warrior's Forge Crafter unlocked, so I can craft and study the tier 3 items. And up here is Plate Armor Crafter. I have studied one tier 3 plate armor, giving me 330 fame, and I need 7,212. So I just need to buy 22 of these armors and study them, and that will allow me to unlock the tier 4 nodes and the specialization nodes so that I can get all of these learned. So again, that'll let me craft tier 4. Now, all in all, I already bought one beforehand, but buying 22 of these cost me around 21,000 silver. You can see the estimated market value is only 16,000, so I got ripped off a bit, but that's fine. 21,000 silver is nothing. And then to study these, they're about 100 silver each, so 2,200. And this crafting bench is expensive, so might be cheaper for you. But I'm going to go ahead and study these now, pay the fee, and there we go. So now I have tier 4 unlocked for Plate Armor Crafter. Now I just need to do this for sword crafting, so that would be tier 3 swords, tier 3 hammers, shields, leather jackets, you know. Basically, we want to get all of these nodes lit up, and shape-shifting, there are tier 3 shapeshifter staffs out there, the tier 3 prowling staff, and yes, it does require rare animal remains to craft, but so this one will cost you a little bit more, okay? You know, not everything's going to be super cheap, but it's cheap enough for an established player. But you want to get all of these unlocked, and then we got to figure out what is the cheapest, most efficient, fastest way to push these to 20%. All right. Now, in order to push your first specialization level of a piece of equipment to 20% so that you can get the free learning points when the patch hits, this is how many things you'll need to study in the tier 4 region. So a 4.0 item, or in this case, we're using soldier boots, all right? So when I go to study, I can put in the soldier boots. It gives me 495 fame. I only need 1,442 to reach the 20% threshold. So this means I would need 3 of these boots. And these boots are worth 1,300 each, so that would be 3,900 silver spent. Whereas 4.1 boots cost 3.5k silver, and I need at least 2 of those, or I need 1 4.1 and 1 flat 4, okay? And, you know, right now, the cheapest price is just to buy the flat 4s. Just buy 3 of the flat 4s, study them, boom, you're done. You can also get a 4.2, which is worth 16,000 silver, or a 4.3, which is worth 69,000 silver. So yeah, I'm going to study the 1 and the 1 here just because that's what I have, and then we'll hit study. And there we go. Now our plate boots crafter, as you can see, is hit that 20% threshold. I can use learning points to push it to the next level. And when the patch hits, this will be pushed automatically, lighting up the node. Now, please know that these values are only for the boots and helmets. For armors, we need 2,884 fame. And for weapons, we need 5,768 fame. Alright, so this means that for armor, you need to buy 6 instead of 3, and for weapons, you need to buy 12, alright? And I'll put that on the screen now. So the TLDR is you need to study 3 flat 4 items for boots, helmets, and offhands. You need to study 6 for armors, and 12 for weapons, alright? Now, I want to point out the same values for armor and helmets applies to gathering gear, so boots and helmets are the same. The armor is, you know, the same as regular gear. All right, so to level refining to tier 3, you just have to get 240 fame, and to do that, you just refine tier 2 items 240 times because it gives 1 fame every time. And sometimes, because I'm using a bonus city for the limestone, you get it back. So I refined 1 limestone block, and I got the limestone back. So we can hit it, craft again, and I didn't get it back this time. But do that 240 times, and that will unlock the next tier of refining. Alright, so let's talk about refining. Tier 3 refining takes 240 fame. Again, I've already talked about this, but a lot of time has passed since I recorded the last clip. Anyway, to get to Tier 4 from Tier 3, here is how much you'll need to refine. You need to refine 495 Tier 2 items and spend 5 learning points, or 2,475 Tier 2 items without learning points, and this is all without premium. Alright, Tier 4 to Tier 5, here's what you gotta refine, and this is refining the finished product, not taking Tier 2 items and refine. I'm sorry. When it says Tier 3, that means you are refining and getting a Tier 3 product, okay? So, again, these are the values. You're gonna spend 46 learning points, and without, you're gonna be buying 30,000 Tier 2 items, or 6,000 Tier 3, 2,000 Tier 4. Here's the values from Tier 5 to Tier 6, and it's gonna cost you 153 learning points if you want to skip, which I don't recommend that you do. I recommend that you just refine 2,333 Tier 5 items. Alright, Tier 6 to Tier 7, here are the values. This time, 305 learning points. Now, because the goal of the video is to get you 20% of the way from Tier 7 to Tier 8, here is these values. Tier 7 to 20% of the way to Tier 8, this is how much you'll have to craft. 372,667 Tier 2 items, all the way down to only 867 Tier 7 items. Now, I'm going to just give you a little stipulation here. I did not verify this math. I looked at the game data files, and I did the math that way. And so, these values could be slightly different from what I got, but it's in the game files. I did not manually log into a character and test these values. So please keep in mind, they may not be exactly 100%, but this will prevent you from overbuying if you're trying to get exact numbers down. Alright, let's talk gathering, which is the first thing in the game you and everyone should spend learning points on, but let's talk about it anyway. Tier 2, should have done this in the tutorial, I don't know what to tell you. Tier 3, go gather a bunch of Tier 2 items real quick. It doesn't take that long, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. Tier 3 to Tier 4, you're going to need 6,000 fame and 35 learning points to advance this, which is, if you don't want to do the gathering, it's 6 gathering tomes. They cost 90,000 each. Currently, this price will go up by the time you watch this video. If you are not a channel member, that's 540,000 silver. Without learning points, you need 30,000 fame or 30 gathering tomes for 2.7 million, but, I mean, 35 learning points is definitely worth that amount of silver. Tier 4 to Tier 5, here's the same values, 117 learning points, 19 Tier 5 gathering tomes. This will cost you 3.325 million, or 16 million without. Not worth it. Tier 5 to Tier 6, it's starting to get expensive. 13.272 million silver, or 65 million silver. Tier 6 to Tier 7 is 50 million silver. It's really better just to grind this one out. Once you've hit Tier 6 and Tier 7, like, gathering gets so much faster. Just go to a blue zone and gather it out. You can knock it out, lads. Tier 7 to 20% of the way to Tier 8 will take 233,000... Sorry, I cut off there. I thought I did the math wrong. No, the math is correct. 233,333 fame, which will cost 39 Tier 8 gathering tomes at 3.5 million each. This is 136.5 million. I'm telling you right now, just go grind out this last 20%. You can do it in a single day if you're really, really dedicated. It will take a while, though. Alright, channel members, and later for everyone else also seeing this, that's all I've got now. What can you do with this info? Get started right away. Once the whales get word of this, either via my video, members telling other members telling whales, or whales figuring it out themselves. Maybe some smart guy on Reddit figures it out. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of stupid. It's really dumb that SBI would hide such an important and economically impactful change on a random little forum post that was edited in, you know, days later after the initial post that no one sees. Almost no one goes to the Albion Online forums. It is a ghost town there. So, yeah, just finding that kind of critical game-changing, you know, economy-altering and massively beneficial and boosting info is, it's just interesting. That's all it is. But anyway, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching. If you've been watching this whole time and you don't know what a channel membership is, you can pay $5 a month through YouTube by clicking right down here below where this little arrow is bouncing. There is a join button. It's $5 a month. YouTube takes half, taxes take half of that half, and then I get like $1 something afterwards. But that's not important for me. It's just if you want to support me, you get private, more personal videos that are too good for the public, market flipping videos, and so on and so forth. It's the best value out of any other content creator that's also selling like gold, silver making info. Guarantee that. But anyway, the point is if that button's not there, by the way, then that has to do with your country of origin. I have no control over that, okay? Anyway, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching. Become a channel member. You can get info like this early as well. I'll see you guys in the next video. Mwah.